I have always been intrigued by this question, which many people don't even ask, is what is the difference between being rich and being wealthy? There will be a lot of schemes which which will come and tell you that this is a get rich quick scheme, right? You buy teak wood, you buy gold, you buy titanium, you buy cryptocurrency. These are all nice small steps which will make you rich instantly, right? But there is nothing which can make you wealthy instantly. So first of all, let us make the distinction between rich and wealthy. A rich person is a person who could be who is earning well from one source and spending it. And if he can't spend it for whatever reasons, if his income falls, he will borrow and spend, but he will have to tell the world that he is rich. So maybe he is burning 500 rupee notes, or maybe he is buying the latest gizmos, cars, phones, laptops, to impress people who say, wow, he changes his laptop every 3 months, he changes his car every 2 years, right? Or whatever, maybe even lesser, maybe he changes his phone every 3 months, 4 months, whatever. So these are people who are likely to be spending money which could be fake money. When I mean fake money, I mean he could be borrowing the money and spending, but from the way he is spending, way he or she is spending, it could be sheer insecurity because of which they are spending. They want to show off to the world that they have arrived, that they have reached that place. So they buy a latest Mercedes or a BMW or some car just because of their external scorecard. I mean, using a Buffett terminology, using wanting to impress the outside world. So a rich could be really earning well and spending well, or could be even faking it. So it could be even a fake rich. A wealthy, on the other hand, is a mindset where a person wants to improve his net worth. Far more importantly, he makes his money work for him. So a person who is earning 100 rupees and another person who is earning 100 rupees, one could be rich and one could be wealthy. The wealthy guy would have that 100 rupees coming from 4 sources of 25. In that case, what happens is one source dries up for whatever reasons. His main business fails, his rent income, his dividend income, his interest income, something else would make sure that he has enough wealth, right? And he or she as a family spend way below their ability to spend. So on an annual, on say a monthly income of 10-12 lakhs, they may be spending 2 lakhs. So it's way below what they can actually afford to spend. So that makes the distinction between rich and wealthy. Another characteristic of wealthy people is their annual income. Let's say he's got a 10 crore portfolio or a 20 crore portfolio, which is largely in equity. The portfolio could go up by say 10% every year. So on a 20 crore portfolio, it could be going up by 2 crore every year. But his dividend may only be say 20 lakhs or something like that, and he is living way below 20 lakhs. The 2 crore of appreciation is not being recognized, because the minute you recognize it, you will have to pay tax. So the wealthy guy is smarter with his tax also. He makes sure that he does not encash his income. That is very important. I have done videos on this saying that you should realize your income only when you need it. So if it's your professional income, you don't have a choice. But if it is your capital gain, you should not, you should first of all convert all current income into capital gain. So that is something which these people do. So his annual accretion, which means his increase or the family's increase in net worth, will be much higher, but the cash flow of income will be much lower, on which they will pay tax and they live on a day-to-day basis. So this is another big distinction between being rich and being wealthy. Should you be aiming to become rich, or should you be aiming to become wealthy? The answer is pretty obvious. It should be to become wealthy. And to become wealthy, the only measure is your net worth. How much are you worth in terms of cash, which means how much are your assets and how much are your liabilities. So as soon as possible, you should increase the assets, and as soon as possible, you should reduce the liability. Asset minus liability is net worth. So wealthy person means he or she as a family aims, the only aim is to increase the net worth, not to increase income or reduce liability or increase assets. All put together is reflected in increase in net worth. So am I able to increase my net worth at a rate which is way ahead of inflation? So if inflation in this country is 7%, your net worth will anyway increase by 7% without great effort. But if you can do it at 14%, 18%, 20%, it means you are improving your net worth by a bigger number. I am not even saying you need to be in the net worth race. You need not be. If you're happy with where you are, that's fine. But this is more academic and meant for younger people to know that what you should be actually aiming in terms of improving is your net worth, not what others think about you. So just eliminate the external scorecard, have your internal scorecard which tells you, okay, by doing all this I will be financially independent and I will be able to then work as per my wishes. So if I'm a doctor, I may decide to practice 3 days a week, and or I may decide to practice 2 days a week, and I will spend some time in leisure and I will do some charitable activities. Perfectly all right, right? Many of us keep doing that. I mean, I do at least 1 or 2 free lectures every week. I'm trying to reduce that, but that is happening, and there I don't make any money. So giving some time for charitable activities, and that makes sense. So first of all, there is a mindset which is different between being rich and being wealthy. Being rich, you're trying to perhaps show off to the world that you're rich, you have arrived. Maybe you borrowed money, right? So maybe you're in debt, right? You can be rich and be in debt. When you're wealthy, you're trying to reduce debt, eliminate debt, whatever, or saying, okay, I will be in debt to the extent that the return on that marginal portion at least is much higher than the rate at which I'm borrowing. So if I'm borrowing money at 9% and if I'm able to earn 13, 14, 15% out of that, that's great. Then there is logic to be in debt. It's always logical to be in debt if it's an investment debt. You don't borrow money and spend. Right? When I do lectures, at the bottom of the table, I say buy a sewing machine with borrowed money, buy a cow with borrowed money, simply because you're going to earn money out of it. So if you can invest and if you're smart enough to do it, then great. Otherwise, get out of debt. No debt for consumption, and if you're debt for buying a house, etc., time to get rid of it. Obviously, something which we've already covered is to be able to live way, way below your means. And most wealthy people that I know do it. I know a person with about 20 crores who does not own a car, right? He does not need a car. He does not own it. Whenever he goes out, he takes an Ola or an Uber. To him, he thinks money is more efficiently used in the markets, whatever. The easiest way or the best way to get wealthy is when you create your own business and take it public and have a very good reputation. So you get a PE of 30. So for every rupee that you earn, the market respects it to the extent of 30 times. That's the best way to get rich. So whether it is Deepak Parekh, Nirmal Jain, Mukesh Ambani, I mean, I'm saying all those people in the same breath, or any of those people, they've all made money because they've got themselves listed. Buffett or Niranjan Hiranandani, anybody, maybe you make money in real estate, but ultimately if the market has to recognize it, it has to be in the form of an IPO, gone public, therefore EPS, therefore PE, and therefore market cap. That's the best way to become the rich, very rich, let's put it that way. And right, it is a market which recognizes what your efforts are and starts valuing it. I've seen many of these people reasonably oriented towards God and charity. Many of the people who I know who have, like this person whom I said, who does not own a car, his annual charity bill would be far, far greater than his household expenses. It would be household expenses into 3 or 4. That kind of charity is just. One advantage is you don't need to compare yourself with somebody else and make yourself miserable. Oh, I bought an E-Class Mercedes, he's bought an S-Class Mercedes, and so I need to change. You're not under that kind of a pressure. You're obviously investing very sensibly. So you have equity, you have real estate, you have everything. So you have a diversified asset class, so that if one thing goes wrong, something else will pay for it. you've adequately provided for your family knows what you've done, your documentation is good, right? I mean, that can happen with rich and wealthy, but I'm just saying the path to get wealthy is to do all these things. Make your will, make sure your family knows how your documentation is done. Well, that's the best path to get wealthy. Don't try to get rich, get wealthy. Thank you.